You gone?
Then love, nothing is better than love, nothing is happier than love, nothing is mightier than love, nothing is gentler than love, nothing is safer than love. Give love a chance, oh yeah, give love a chance, oh yeah. I miss you. I made a Delina done. Oh my darling, why you leave me?
Give love a chance. Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Caribbean Voice presentation of a mind-body connection. My co-host is all ready for tonight's topic, but let's say thank you for all of you who are joining us tonight. And hey, I hope you guys had a pleasant Monday. It's a beautiful week starting out. We should start our week with a beautiful note. Hey, Mr. Joe Jaglal, good night to you. Good night, Mr. Anand Budram, the founder of the Caribbean Voice. Bibi Hussein, good night to you. Bibi Ahmad in Guyana, good night to you. Not forgetting, let's say happy birthday to one of the vice presidents from Caribbean Voice, and that is Dr. Rodney. Happy birthday to you. So good night. How are you doing, Mr. Hiram?
Not bad at all. Shanaz, how are you doing?
I had a very productive day, and yes, lots of new things happening, especially when it comes to the Caribbean Voice. So we will keep you guys posted, and thank you guys for locking on to the Mind-Body Connection. What are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we'll be talking about prostate cancer.
So if you know someone, please tag them, share the link on their page, and if they have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we love reading your comments in our chat. Auntie Hasina Bano, good night to you. Amir Khan, how you're doing? Anita Khan, good night to you. Lene is already on.
That's a good thing she's not late tonight, so welcome to all of you guys today. Mind Body Connection. With the kind courtesy of the Caribbean Voice.
That's right, presented by the Caribbean Voice. As our discussion said right here, it's a prostate cancer awareness, March 4th. And hey, let's get into it. Good night. My beautiful friend Sonia Debedine is locked on, and she's always supporting the Caribbean Voice. And guys, we have t-shirts for all of you who are supporting the Caribbean Voice. So for you guys sharing our link, we'll be sending you guys t-shirt pretty soon.
That's a beautiful thing. You give them some incentive to continue to watch us, but I know they're watching us because they like our show.
That's right, they're feeling the love. Navin, good night to you. And Auntie Jamila Umrao, good night to you. Tell us where you're locked on from, Auntie Jamila. Go ahead.
Yes, but we got a couple things to talk about. One of them is, as you know, Qayyum's son passed away sometime last week, and so on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, we would like to extend our deepest sympathy to you and to your family. It's sad losing a son. Shanaz, I went to the funeral and everybody was crying.
And that is Officer Qayyum. He's well known in our community, represent the precinct. He's always at the Pago Parade, Diwali Parade, and he's leading on the police department, and he's always there protecting our community. So of course our sympathies goes out to Officer Qayyum and his family from the Caribbean Voice. And I was thinking his son is a little younger, but to know that he is so involved with his kids and his family, and this will just went overboard. I'm surprised that this was really shocked.
Yes, and I know I know the family for a very long time. I know them over 20 years, and what a nice family. And this goes to show that in life you never know, Shanaz. And I'm glad that we're here that we can talk a little bit things about children and parenting and all these things. And it's important how however we do this parenting job. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy road. And I know losing a son, a child at such a young and tender age, it's sad. And I hope that you find peace somewhere to continue to move on. I also want to tell you, Kayum, and to your lovely wife, who I know a long time, that if you need any help, please contact the Caribbean Voice. We are here to support you and to your family. All you got to do is just make that call to us, okay?
That's
You are
right.
not a stranger to this program.
Our family right here in the Caribbean Voice. Good night to each and every one of you. Kimberly, Daisy, good night to you. Terry, Ishwar, Roger, Sue, how you doing? Hafiza Ahmed, good night. Richie Maharaj, good night. And DJ Fess is in the building. Welcome to Island Zone Radio 24/7. They have you entertained with all their music. Every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m., the Caribbean Voice presentation of the Mind-Body Connection. You never know what's topic we're going to be talking about, and it's most what requested. Most of the topics are coming from you, the viewers out there, who are asking for us to touch on these topics. So we have lots of questions, and we hope to answer a few of your questions along the way.
Yes, and I want to let you guys know that some years ago, the son of a well-known lawyer in our community died by suicide. But very few people know that it was suicide because the family felt it was a shame to reveal that suicide was the cause of death. Another couple of years after, a powerful couple, one of them was a doctor and a lawyer, and the daughter committed suicide because her level was low. She did not get straight A, as the parents had wanted her to get.
I feel like parents putting a lot of pressure on their kids. You have to come home with 100, you have to be A plus and all of these things. And sometimes the parents don't sit down with them to give them a little guidance or see where a lot of academics changes right now in our American school system. We're above a lot of countries, and the level is very, very difficult. Some parents are having trouble mentoring or tutoring their kids at home, so don't feel left behind. Reach out to someone, especially it's hard to see your kids struggling in school. It really is.
Exactly. So, and another important thing is not to use the same yardstick what you get to with your children, because we're different. We are made up different, and not all of us going to be doctors and lawyers and nurses and teachers and radio hosts like Shanaz and so on, and teachers and so forth. So you know what? Give your children all the tools they need in this life, and wish them well, and hope that they come out to be good children. And that's the thing that we can do for all our kids.
Right, whether they have an artistic, whether they're like focusing on art or music. Remember, those are industry that's paying very well.
Exactly.
I have doctors who said, Shanaz, I don't want my kids to be doctors because
I heard that story too.
I have nurses who say, I don't want my kids to be nurse because they're already in that field. It may look easy, but it's a very tough field to be in. As long as you're making a comfortable and a decent, loyal living, I should say.
Exactly.
That's all that matters, because sometimes even the doctors are very stressed out, and you think they're focusing on their health, they become sick themselves. So.
Exactly. So, and recently there was another suicide in our community. Another young person passed away. The taboo aside, which we will talk in another program. Today we want to quickly provide some strategies to help your teenagers and college students to prevent them from becoming suicidal. And yes, as I said, we need to give our children tools to able to withstand life and all the problems that life throws at you. So, you have young kids, I have young kids. We have to help them to make them better human being, later on down in life.
And don't point fingers when they come home with one report card or one
Yeah.
a little lower. Just try to understand, because, it might be they might have
Tough
something
year,
going
something
on.
going on, yes.
A new teacher.
Exactly. So, today we quickly want to provide some strategies to help your teenagers and college students to prevent this from becoming suicidal. First, do not put pressure on them to perform academically or otherwise, and do not transfer your expectations on them. Like exactly what we were saying. You don't want, because you are doctors, you want your children to become doctors. Let them be who they want to be. Give them that chance because you have the chance to be whoever you want to be.
Hey,
right?
Mr. David in Astoria, good night to you. Let's read Mr. Winston comment. He said, the hand that rocks the cradle shapes the future generation. Now, what do you believe?
It's a true thing. It's a true thing, yes. First, do not put pressure. Instead of being critical, be supportive and helpful. Exactly. So always help them, support them, whatever they want to do in life. Let them do. As long as they're making an honest living,
and they're
let them do
happy
it.
about it. Because remember, your workplace should be where you're excited to go every day, what brings out the best of you. And if they want to be a dancer, well, depends on what it is. You support them because, you know, our fingers are not the same. And I don't want my family grow up just all to be doctors and lawyers. We should have diversity. We should have different things.
Diversity, good word, say diversity. You don't want them but to be doctor. You want somebody to do the dirty work.
Right.
Try to understand what they are going through and develop enough trust so that they will be able to share it with you, regardless of what the issue. This way, you always be able to help them deal with challenges or issues. Once you realize that your child may need help, please do not take matters in your own hands. You know, if you are not the expert, you know, again, try to help your children. If you see they need help and you can give them that advice, seek professional help. If your child is suicidal or they really need to talk to somebody, get professional help. You may not be able to help them to move on in whatever problem they got or address what problem they have. Instead, get them expert help, especially if they are stressed out. And with it, you know, everyday life, Shanaz, it's not easy on these children. It's not easy for us. We are the adult and we sometimes find it very difficult to move on with things. So what about your children? You know, whether they're depressed or suffer from low self-esteem and lack of confidence, counseling is highly recommended and counseling works. We guarantee that.
That's right, especially in America. I love their system that they have here. Let's read Mr. Kumar Singh, as Mr. Kumar Singh was a teacher back in Guyana. He's a famous brother of Mr. Buddy Singh, my buddy here. Hey, give them your full support and guidance and wish them well. That's all we wish for them, and give them support.
Hey Aditya, good night. Good night. I'm glad you're watching. I hope you can make a big change. You can change and be a good young man as you are.
Carmen and Ramochan, good night to you.
Always. As always, be alert so you can quickly and easily identify changes in your child's behavior or language, whether it's positive or it's negative. You know, Shanaz, we have our children. We're supposed to know when they're going through something. If you see something that's different, always find out what's happening.
Then they're sleeping a lot, they're eating a lot, they're not eating or sleeping a lot. Their changes are, you know, and then you have to be around your kids to notice these things.
Exactly.
You can't just, you know, if you're not spending time with your kids, it's hard for you to observe.
And you know, the Caribbean said 5 minutes of your time
could save your life.
You know, any sudden change is a cause of concern, and once identified, always seek professional help. School and colleges also have counselors, so you can talk to them or you can seek outside help. Like we said, if you can't deal with them,
refer them to someone else to get help, because the most painful thing is that you, as a parent, knowing that they needed the help and you didn't get them what they needed.
Exactly.
You didn't support them.
And then you want to know, you know, what happens if something.
Where did you lack as a parent? Where's my shortcoming? But you know what? If you know to yourself that you are reaching out for help out there, and we're gonna put some links up where you could get support, online support, the Caribbean Voice when it comes to school. I mean, it's expensive to have extra tutoring, but there's school, and after school you could join a group, you know, and have those mentoring in a group.
And you know, if you don't know how to get help, you can always contact the Caribbean Voice. We offer counseling and referrals. Very importantly, always pay attention to how you communicate with your teenagers. You know, Shanaz, this is a different country. In Guyana, we tell our children, we talk to them any kind of way. In this country, so there is a difference now.
In Guyana, they say you talk, as Mr. Annan always say, you're talking to your children. We should be talking with our children. You're not talking to them, you're not implying anything. It's always a conversation. It's a two-way street.
Yes, and you know, you're constantly criticizing your children. Stop criticizing them. You know, that's a no-no. Only give orders and directions it is not recommended. You don't even you don't give direction like that all the time. Remember, this is your kids. They're young. They're now maturing. They're growing, and so you want to teach them the right thing.
And on that note, I'll read Mr. Winston Bachan's comment. He said, "You made your children. You didn't make their minds. You have to shape their thinking, aspect their minds,
To impact
their minds." Correct.
Instead, give them a chance to have their say and listen to them with interest and empathy. I will also add, don't be judgmental on them. You know, give them a chance to do whatever they want to do,
Or
and
listen
always
to
keep
them.
an eye.
Always listen to them and see what their long-term goals are.
Yes, and if there's any disagreement between the two of you, you know, get an intervention instead of letting things escalate into argument and quarrels. You know something, Shanaz, you don't have to fight with your children. You don't have to fight every day. You doesn't have to fight, and you can talk things over, and you teach your children to, you know what, if anything bother you, come, let's talk about it. It's important you talk to me.
On a regular basis, not just let weeks pass by into months, and you know what, I didn't know you were being upset about what happened. You know what kids become upset about is something else going on in school with their friends that might affect their behavior or how they're feeling. So they might want to talk about that. So I always ask them, is something going on in school with your friends that's bothering you, you know, because sometimes they do. And it's always good to look out for others.
And you know, sometimes it's good to reach out to your friends or family. Sometimes you have your kids, right? And they don't want to talk to you, but they would like to talk to their aunt or the uncle or somebody, close family, somebody else,
Who they trust.
you know, who they trust, and they can always open up to them. You know what I'm saying? More than they open up to their parents sometimes.
Right.
And sometimes they are more comfortable talking to their aunts and uncle. You know, if the issue seems serious, then maybe counseling should be considered. Before then, however, try compromise. You know, it's always good to compromise in any way, shape or form. We don't want to go and rule by the iron rod. You know, stop, think. Don't give a child one thing to go. No, give them options. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this, but you can do that. You can't do this, but you can do that, right?
Auntie Lene said, as a parent, you have to work as a team with your kids, especially when they are teenagers, because believe me, they have so much emotions going through. You might say the wrong thing and get them hurt, or they might misinterpret what you're saying. So yes, you have to have that relationship with them to make sure that they come to you first when they need something. David Prasad, good night to you. Garvin Washington, Arnell, good night. My good friend Mr. Nicole Ali, good night to you. Deepa Dasrat, Stanley Ramsaran, Jeffrey Dookie, and thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit share so your friends could see that you're locked on to the Caribbean Voice Mind-Body Connection.
The mind-body connection, yes. It's okay to not always be right. You know, we don't have to be right all the time. Sometimes give our children options, like I said. Listen to them what they have to say. Sometimes they may be right in what they're saying. You know,
But
because
as adults, we want to be the one to know everything.
yes, and that's what
Sometimes
I'm
it's
going
not
to say.
just good to know everything.
Remember that what you think, you know, you may not always be correct. You know, and then I said Guyana and the United States and third world country and North America is very different, you know. And the way you were brought up may not always necessarily be the same that you bring up your children. I always say that because, you know, with my boys and the options they have, I didn't have those options. I couldn't talk back to my parents, despite I did talk back sometimes and get licks. You know how it is. Now Ken and Kevin, they could tell me something, or they would stand up and they would argue or talk back, and you know, it's a little different. I stand up and I tell them, you guys lucky you're not in Guyana, you know, you're in the States. But I always allow them boys to express themselves and hear what they have to say. Yes. After all, not only are the times different, but the society may also be different, and the issues may not be one that you're familiar with or that you know how to deal with. And you know, sometimes, for example, like there's an issue may come up to you with your kids, you may not know how to deal with it. You may not know how to handle it. And you know, you can always, Shanaz, you have
refer
friends,
to a friend who you think is a good parent. And I must say good night to my beautiful friend Sonia, because she raised 3 beautiful kids and they're all fantastic. They're all very successful, and she's a wonderful parent. Even though she's a career woman, she put her kids first, and she's always traveling with them, making time one-on-one. You always need to spend one-on-one with your children. Remember,
if you're not there for your children, he or she will seek out other friends, right? And they may end up offering them the wrong advice. And it's a true story. You know, I see at work, there's a lot of young Guyanese guy comes in sometimes, and they would tell me that they can't talk to the parents, and so what they end up doing, go talk to their friends, and you know what, the friends will end up like, some of them are, they drink and they smoke or they do drugs and so on. So it's always a experience to have that open relationship, so your children will be able to come to you. And that's one of the good things that I like about the United States, is that a lot of kids and their parents, they have that good relationship, that bond, you know what I'm saying?
And I must applaud the guys. I mean, driving in the morning, there's so much more fathers taking their kids to school, not just the mothers making the sacrifice, the fathers, they're going for coffee and donut day with the kids in school. I've seen them having workshop in Home Depots. It's a bonding.
Yes, you know what, parenting is not a competition with your child. You're not in no competition with your children, and you know what I'm saying?
And parenting doesn't come with a handbook.
Exactly so.
They didn't come with a handbook.
Lord, I wish there was a handbook, but you know what, I played by ear most of the
time.
How
should I deal with my son Hiram behavior today? Let's open page 5.
Yes, you can do that, but always, whatever you do in life, Shanaz, I always say, if you do it with kindness and with love, you can never go wrong. What do you think?
That's right. Love is the answer. As we open our program with Terry G's song, Love is the Answer. And we always need love and support.
Yes. And rather, it's parenting is a lifelong process of learning and self-correction. As we go on, we have to learn how to correct ourselves with things. We can't just go, like I said, rule by the iron fist. We have to be flexible with our parenting skills.
That's right. On the other note, it says, also never compare your child to someone else, especially put your child down or put your child in a bad light. Your child is unique and
like no one else. And who can tell you more? Alan Budram is one of our experts. He's a teacher for a lot of years, has a wealth of knowledge in children, so we always respect his take in things, you know what I'm saying? So you continue, Mr. Alan Budram. I know you got all the knowledge and can share with us. It's a process and don't always have to be right, and your children does not always have to be wrong. Even if you don't agree with your child, instead of dismissing what he or she has to say, give it consideration, and the two of you should have an open conversation. Shanaz, it should be an open dialogue with you and your children. It's not that you say, well, you do this and you do that. Let your children, and I hope Ken and Kevin is listening, they will tell me too, Daddy, listen what I'm saying. I know. I grew up here, and I don't know certain things, and I would say, all right, son. Like tonight, I was with the computer, with the phone. They know about the phone more than I do,
right.
And they're kids, you know what I'm saying? The two should have open. Remember also that whatever is done, Shanaz, you cannot undo it. So like I said, always be kind with your words and always let things come out nicely,
And do not bring up constantly reminding them of the negative. Just put something positive so that they can work forward towards a goal.
And so instead of fault finding and placing blame, talk about how such a situation can be avoided. And let your child understand that mistakes are not the end of the world. And I want to expound on this a little more. You know what? We all make mistakes.
Even as grown-ups, every day we all do make mistakes.
Let your children know it's okay. It's okay you make mistakes. But what you do with those mistakes, you don't make them again, and you learn from them.
You do a different approach next time.
Exactly. So, and instead, should be a lesson learned. Let that be a good lesson. So that you will not happen again, or so the specific issue can be handled differently the next time. So I see your friend she wrote a lengthy.
Let's read Sonia's comment. Sonia Debedine, a very good supporter for the Caribbean Voice. She's always supporting the right cause and the right folks.
And she said, as parents, we should always have open relationship with our children, giving them the ability and confidence to open up, to use us to be their best friends. When children have that confidence in you, they come to you with any and anything. That they should never be afraid of their parents. We need to spend quality time with our children. They need that comfort. And I totally agree with you. At the same time, while we love our children and we want them to be close to us, we also let them know that this relationship, I'm your parents and you're my child. And you do it nicely, and keep love inside of the whole thing.
Good night, Mr. Winston. Thank you very much, Auntie Sheila, Mata Prasad.
Beautiful Shanaz.
Thank you guys very much. We have Terry G and the lockdown when it comes to our music tonight, so let's go.
I love you, Papa, my loving Father. I love you, Papa, my loving Father. I love you, Papa. I love you, Daddy, for all the memories you gave to me. I love you, Daddy, and I want you to know I love you always, wherever I go. I love you, Papa. I love you, Daddy, for all the memories you gave to me. I love you, Papa, my loving Father.
Wake the village and tell everybody, man, woman, and picnic. It's folk song time. It's time to wine. Hey.
We have Burbeast River by Terry G. Do enjoy. We love you guys for partaking in our conversation and for giving us all your feedback.
Dear land of Guyana, I love you more than roti and dal. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. I don't want your conniving morning. When you been a home, you not been tell me morning. But now because you money down, you hustle to tell me morning. Why? Gio go, girl. Where you go? Lady Bunting walk over ya. Why, Rich? How you doing? Albia, you too. You know Pablo? Hey, yeah, man. Bamboo fire is what kind of fire? Bamboo fire makes so, he makes so. Bamboo fire is a hot, hot fire. Bamboo fire makes so, he makes so. Bamboo, bamboo fire makes so, makes so, makes so. Bamboo, bamboo fire makes so, makes so, makes so. Mexo, 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 what? Mexo, 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 what? Auntie Mos, what you doing, girl? All right, hey, hey. Here, Auntie Mos, here, Auntie Mos, here, Auntie Mos, Sahala. Here, Auntie Mos, here, Auntie Mos, here, Auntie Mos, Sahala. 4 day.
Big up to Terry Gadraj, a very versatile guy, very versatile artist representing homeland of Guyana, and he's always giving us, the Caribbean boys, his support. So Terry G, big up to you. Good night, brother.
Yeah, he's doing a good job for us, the people from Guyana and the people in the Caribbean. Always got some good music coming out.
Always keeping us entertained, and I love his folk song. It reminds you so much of back home.
And what I like about Terry, though, you know, I mean, we met many years ago, about probably 28, 29 years ago in Connecticut, and we haven't met since then. Can't wait to meet him. We get on things so we can chit-chat a little bit. Hope we get the opportunity to interview him sometime.
Terry is always around, and he supported us last year. You probably missed him when
Yes,
he came
I
by
did.
the Concert for Hope on Rockaway Boulevard. He did pass by to give us his support and everything I do. He's always saying, congratulations, Shanaz, and hey, keep up the good work. And he's always saying good things about everyone.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that, Friday coming is International Women's Day, which we celebrate good women and all those who have contributed to life in such a marvelous way. And the Caribbean Voice, we would like to salute some of the women who are doing great things for the Caribbean Voice and always working hard. And one of them is sitting right next to me towards my right, Miss Shanaz Hussain, the Vice President of the Caribbean Voice. Thank you very much for all that you do, Shanaz. To Dr. Don Stewart, the Director, and Pastor Jean Ram, she's a counselor, Miss Nadata Simon, counselor. Miss Chandra Balkaran, she's a social activist. Miss Neela, our own Neela Narain, she's a social media coordinator. And our own Bibi Ahmad, she's the managing director. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you very much for being such a valuable member to the Caribbean Voice. We hope that you continue to do good work for us. And I'm so glad I'm sitting next to Shanaz and to say thank you very much, Shanaz, for all that you are doing for the Caribbean Voice.
Thank you. We are a group of women in our group there. They're always up to something and they're always making a difference. They're always making a difference. And then I have a lot of friends. There's some who love the shopping and other things. Right. And then there's some who love to be productive and who love helping like us. So Bibi Ahmad, good night to you. She's always, what's your next topic? And she's the one designing the flyer, the banner for us when it comes to our presentation on Monday. Thank you very much, Neela Pawaru, wonderful members of the Caribbean Voice, always supporting, always helping us share.
So, tonight, Shanaz, we're going to talk about prostate cancer. And I choose this topic first because, it's so important for men. And next week, I hope that we can talk about either breast cancer or ovarian cancer. But tonight I want to tell you that men are being diagnosed with prostate cancer. So many men, actually 1 in 6 men have been diagnosed with, or in their lifetime will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. So I'm going to ask you, Shanaz, you're a wife, you have your husband, like somebody come to you and says, look, your husband has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I know it's a tough
heartbreaking
thing.
And you need a support system. That's first of all. I've worked in the hospital. I've seen so many of personal friends and their spouses. They're always there. No matter what you go through, if you have that support, you could go through it fighting together.
And I can tell you, Shanaz, that for example, if a doctor tell me that you have prostate cancer, my God, it's like they throw a big stone on your chest.
It is, but that's why we said regular checkup. Your body, your health is your wealth, I should say, and early detection.
We're gonna get to all of this tonight.
Early prevention.
Right. They said that when a man finds out that he has prostate cancer, it can be overwhelming and will take him time to absorb and process the information. It is important for them to talk about how they feel about their diagnosis. It's helpful to share the reaction, fears, and hope. It is also important to understand that a step to make a decision about their treatment options. So, Shanaz, like I said, it is tough when you get diagnosed with any form of terminal illness, and for example, cancer. But I have to tell you this one thing, that with prostate cancer, you can survive a long time. You can survive over 5 years or 10 years, 20 years. And like we said before, and you might hear me saying it again, that early detection is the key for any cancer, or any illness. If you pick it up early, there is so much chances that you are to survive. And I want to tell you, cancer is a name given to a collection of related disease. In all types of cancer, some of the body cells begin to divide without stopping and spreading into surrounding tissues. Cancer can start almost anywhere in the human body, which is made up of trillions of cells. Normally, human cells grows and divided to form new cells as the body needs them. When cells grows old, they become damaged and they die out, and new cells take their place. That's what's supposed to happen. But when cancer develops, however, this orderly process breaks down and cells become more and more abnormal. Old or damaged cells survives, and they should die, and the new cells from them, it's not needed. These extra cells can divide without stopping, and many forms of growth start to grow, and you get tumors, right? And I want to tell you 2 things that you should know. When you go to the doctor and he said cancer, you said, oh my God, I'm going to die soon. But I want to tell you there is two forms. You have benign cancer. These cells are not cancerous and wouldn't spread. So it's important to know this. And then you have malignant cancer. This one, the cells are cancerous and can spread to other parts of the body. You know what I'm saying? So this is the malignant one, you really have to be careful of, that this one could spread, go through the blood the blood vessels and all these things. So you have to be very careful about this. So we're going to talk about the
topic
prostate
was prostate cancer, and some signs and symptoms you may have is frequent urination, weak or interrupted urine, right? Urges to go to the bathroom often, blood in your urine sometimes, and
a new onset of erectile dysfunction.
And guys don't like to hear those
well,
things.
We're going to talk all about that
that's
tonight.
That's like a no-no for guys. So, or pain and burning during urine. So there's a lot of signs and symptoms when it comes to prostate cancer. But as we say, your health is your wealth, and you should have a regular, I think, annual checkup.
Yes, and I want to show you. I hope I can get to show you where this is. Let me see if you guys could see it.
Right.
Let me see if you guys could see it. I'll get the picture. And where you see that red spot is, that's where your prostate is located. It's just under the bladder, right?
Shelly McKinchan said her dad had prostate cancer for 10 years and now it's very bad and very painful. Wow.
Yes, and I'm glad you guys could share it with us, and I can help address them and see. Now I see my picture is coming up.
Share your experience with us and give us some of your signs and symptoms of your loved ones if you help their, what they might be experiencing. Of course, on that note, it's a low self-esteem for many guys.
Oh God, tell me about it.
It takes a toll on you personally.
Yeah, so the prostate is a walnut size. It's a walnut-sized gland located between the bladder and the penis. The prostate is just in front of the rectum, and that's why they do when they do checks, they go through the rectum to check the prostate to see if there's any swelling or anything. The prostate secretes fluid that nourishes and protects sperms during ejaculation. The prostate squeezes this fluid into the urethra and it expels with sperms and semen. The prostate cancer is common, it's a form of cancer in men besides skin cancer, but only 1 in 41 men die from this cancer. So you can see the ratio is very good, that not a lot of people really die out from prostate cancer.
Right, and someone may ask, what can advanced prostate cancer be cured?
I'll tell you, as you ask the question, you could cut it out. You can take out the whole prostate gland, especially if the person's older, and I know we're going to go somewhere down the line, we'll see that prostate cancer, actually it occurs with men more over 65, but it can happen to younger people.
But it's important to do a PSA level test.
Yeah. So we're going to get all the tests out to know how this happens, right? And we want to tell you that the function of the prostate, actually it's a gland. The primary job of the prostate is to produce and secrete some of the alkaline seminal fluid during ejaculation, right? It's help in fertility. It's a pump. The prostate is also a muscle that pumps the semen out through the penis with enough force to enter into the vagina to help the sperm succeed in reaching the cervix. So
and when it comes to reproductive system and making a baby, we all need this, because sometimes I had a nurse at workplace and she was wondering, she had to take her husband for all these checkups because she wasn't able to conceive, so it all matters.
Yes. It also, like we said, as you said, it's help with fertility. Right? It's also help with sexual satisfaction and adds bonus for males. For us, the pumping action of the prostate, sure, it feels good and it makes sense, more pleasurable and desirable. It is also, like you guys have a G-spot, we also have, that's our G-spot. And that's what makes us feel extra special and good.
So then taking that away, sometimes you could see how the feeling a man will experience.
Yes.
It's like taking away partial of your manhood.
Exactly. So, and it do cause some problem with men, right? The prostate also filters and removes toxins for protection of the sperm. It's also help with erection. The prostate erection nerves are responsible for erection. These nerves triggers the penis to swell and hardens with extra blood flow into, the protection which produce the erection. So, it's a good thing. So this would affect a man if you damage their the nerves around the prostate. So that's why there's a lot of treatment option now to help with this, which is good.
Right, and on that note, we'll read Shelley's comment. She said, my dad is 76 years now, and he's afraid to do the operation because it's very complicated.
You know, Shelley, that's a lot of years, and a lot of men at that age. You know, it all depends, and I'm going to go back to that, but I can answer your question now. Is that if your dad is 76 years old, we want to look at his life expectancy. How long more do he have to live, and how aggressive is his cancer? Is if cancer is very aggressive, then probably they will cut it out and they will take it out. If he have and I'm just going to say this, I'm just being professional. If he have a sexual partner and he want to save himself to also continue to have sex, then they may want to see what other surgery they could do just to take that cancer out, so he will have a good enjoy his sex life.
Right, but if he's not sexually active,
you can just take the whole thing out. You could
still continue living a happy
yes,
and
exactly
life.
So.
Bibi Hack, good night to you. Hey woman, good night. Varshni, good night to you. Thank you guys for sharing. Sharing is very important to our, because we are looking forward for viewers around the world, as we are the Caribbean Voice presentation every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. The mind-body connection. We're reaching out to many others around the globe, and our goal is to help them. We want to help be a support system for you guys. Anyone in need, reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice.
Yes, and you know, it acts as a valve. It's like our gatekeeper to ensure the right amount of fluid, like pass through during urination and ejaculation. It's not a bad design. It does a good job.
It does. It has a function.
In our body is great with all these mechanisms we have.
It's so impressive how God designed our body. Everything serves a purpose.
Yes, and also it regulates and helps produce testosterone. So here it is, the functions of our prostate gland. As you can see, it's a very good organ to have, and you have to take care of your body, take care of all the things that you have. And Shanaz, I'm going to go to read back some of the signs and symptoms that I have accumulated today, and I spoke to my Dr. Tan, and we went through this and see, because you know sometimes
it out.
Yes, and we see what's important for us.
Well, let's read Auntie Lene's comment. She wrote, and we all know this, that women could deal with things better than men. Men, they have a headache, they'll cry.
Oh.
So imagine dealing with this. She said it's so hard for men to accept this sometimes when they find out, but I mean, men and women, they have to learn to deal with it, cope with it, and do not just, jump to conclusions sometimes. Andrew Abraham, good night to you. That is Shoot Fast Production. Mr. Vishan Shiftran, good night to you. Shelley, thank you very much.
So, in the early stage of prostate cancer, it can be difficult to determine the presence of the disease, as there may or may not be warning signs. And what I want to say to you guys too, that you may have prostate cancer and you do not know. You may not experience any kinds of signs and symptoms. So that's where the hard thing is. And sometimes, as always we said, it's important to go and get your
As they
early
say,
detection.
any form of cancer is like the silent killer if you don't go get it tested. And some of the signs of advanced prostate cancer is difficulty urinating. If you have enlarged prostate, it could be symptom of an early advanced disease that you need prompt evaluation by your doctor. Weakness from anemia. Sometimes you'll be like you're very weak and tired. And when it comes to cancer, that's the first thing. It's targeting your red blood cells, and your body becomes weak. So anytime you get weak and fatigued, you feel like you're fatigued, go get checked out.
Exactly. So symptoms of prostate cancer generally becomes more noticeable in the advanced stage of the disease. Prostate cancer symptoms are not usually caused by the cancer itself, but what happens, your prostate swells. And that's what's, because of the blockage caused by the increased growth of the prostate gland. This growth can affect a man's sexual performance and also cause urinary tract infection. So what we want to say also too, that you have to be very careful. We're going to tell you some more signs and symptoms that the person may experience, but sometimes, like we said, frequent urination is that you may have diabetes too and still get frequent urination, and that's why we're saying that you should go to the doctor and check it out. Do not try to diagnose your own problem, because guess what? you might end up in problems.
Right.
So whatever you're experiencing, go to the expert, go to the doctor and talk to them.
And they said sometimes you have pain in your bones,
Yeah,
bone
yeah.
pain, because you're weak.
Yes, below, I have 12 symptoms that should never be ignored in order to prevent the development and progression of prostate cancer. And like, you were saying that you said most of them there, the inability, I want to add the inability to urinate while you're standing upright, the weak or decreased flow in urine, in terms of your urine. Right. You're like a little doctor with me here. That's good. My partner is growing here. I'm so happy that we can go back and forth with this. I see Arvinda is listening. He's laughing. That's Geeta's nephew. Nice guy too. Mindfulness is a great tool to help deal with illness such as cancer. Yes, Mr. Anand Budra.
Also depression.
Absolutely.
Mindfulness,
Lord, we will talk about all of that.
You have to deal with one thing at a time, and our body, we want to deal with everything. So being a little bit mindful sometimes help us cope or deal with our situation one at a time.
It's also difficult starting to urine or need to hold back while urinating. Pain and discomfort in the pelvic area. I mean, we men have pelvic area too, not y'all ladies alone.
Right.
The lower back and your upper thigh, you will experience some pain. Symptoms associated with prostate cancer can also be caused by non-cancerous disease, and such as UTI. When you get a urinary tract infection, all these things can happen, and that's why we encourage. I'm just getting a little professional. You ladies, when you finish urine, you just wipe from the front to the back.
Right.
It prevents that infection. So that's a good practice.
As they say, cleanliness is next to godliness, so keep
you know.
yourself clean.
And
Good night to the beautiful Linda Singh, a member of the Caribbean Voice. Lalita, good night to you. Good night, Angelina. Roxanne, Arvinda, good night to you. Arvin Manvod is locked on. Good night to you.
The lot often confuse prostate cancer with UTI. So like I said, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, go to the doctor. Your doctor can help to diagnose your exact condition and address any of the issues listed above with treatment. Right? When to contact your doctor, be sure to contact your doctor if you're experiencing any of the symptoms that we mentioned above. And like I said, don't sit down with them too long. It's no good. Prostate cancer symptoms in the advanced stages can also have similarities to other cancer. Some of these symptoms may include chronic back pain in your lower back, your pelvic area, upper thigh. Pain in this area is caused by the spread of the prostate cancer. And I want to tell you guys, metastasis, this, when you hear the doctor says that, this cancer like metastasized, that means it's gone over to different parts of your body. It's spreading to different parts of your body. And a good thing that if it's localized just in your prostate gland, it's a good thing, because there they can put
to target that
area and work on that, and we will get to that. You know what I'm saying? Unexplained weight loss, and weight loss could cause by a whole lot of different things, and that's why the reason you need to go to the doctor and check. I cannot stress with you guys how important it is to go seek help. You feel nausea, right? You get swelling in your lower extremities, and when I say extremities, your lower feet, Shanaz, I'm using these words and I want to explain them to you so that you may understand. And sometimes you go to the doctor, he said extremities, and some people, especially older 76-year-old men, may not understand some of these terms. So that's why I'm saying lower extremities,
legs,
so that you guys may be able to understand what we are saying, right? And then how the doctor really know that you have prostate cancer? Now, like you said earlier, they do a PSA test, and this is a simple blood test that's used to monitor the prostate-specific antigen produced by the prostate gland. So that's one way. And then they're saying that you can also use one of your finger to check the prostate gland, and you go through the rectum. And what happened, you will see that the doctor would put on a gloves, he would lubricate his finger, and he would push it up in your rectum, and he's going to palpate your gland, and if he feel any swelling or any nodules in there, then it's going to cause him to do further investigation to see what's going on in there. So it's important for guys, please make sure if your doctor says that, listen, I want to do this rectal examination, don't say, no, doctor, I can't do this because I know.
Our West Indian community are very afraid. First of all, the guys don't like to go to doctors, and to do have one of this exam, they might not agree to it. 9 out of 10 West Indian patients, the male ones, are very difficult to deal with.
Oh yes, and then you know what? I did it one time, Shanaz. It was a little painful, but it's
But it gives you a peace of mind knowing that you know what, you took care of that already. You had your annual exam. Good night to my beautiful friend Nasima Rohaman in Toronto. Auntie Line, good night to you. Sharifa Raham, good night to you. How you doing? Thank you guys for joining us on the Caribbean Voice presentation, The Mind-Body Connection, every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. right here on Island Zone Radio. Tonight we're talking about prostate cancer. We all have brothers, uncles, fathers, and you never know that you may need to give them some support at times and enlighten them with some symptoms. If you feel like they're experiencing any of these symptoms, do encourage them to see a doctor.
And on that note too, that if you have surgery and people want to help you, Shanaz, it's always good to have people help you to help you feel better. You don't have to strain yourself and to do a lot of things in the house. And if you want to do go do grocery for you and so on, allow them to help.
All the little help might work.
Yes. And we said, can you have prostate cancer without symptoms, right? Absolutely. Prostate cancer is considered a silent killer, you know, because it doesn't get any pain really sometimes.
Right. Most of the cancer cells just shows up sometimes,
exactly. So, because it's often appear and even spread without any signs and symptoms. Prostate cancer is very common. It's a common thing among men. 1 out of every 6 men will, as we said earlier, would have prostate cancer when diagnosed early, while localized in the prostate gland and before symptoms appears. Prostate cancer is highly treatable, and you can go on to live many years, 10, 20 years, 50 years. I've known people who have lived over 15 years with prostate cancer. You know, yes, and one of the good things is that in the United States and in North America, you have a lot of options of what to do and how to treat your cancer. And we will talk about all of this a little later on as we go on. And it says, what causes prostate cancer and why I am at risk? This is a very good question. It's good to know. It's good to know your family history, Shanaz. Know the things that affect your family. You know, like
genetics
for example,
goes far away.
And anytime that, you know, are we talking together now? That's a good thing. You know, anytime you go to the doctor, and one of the important thing, it's always good to find out from your grandparents or your other family what some of the things they had and what they got. So when you go to your doctor, you can tell them. So
they do a better screening. Sometimes you go to the doctor and they ask you all these questions about your family, and the first thing comes to mind, am I here to see the doctor or my family, right? But they're trying to see who you are, where you came from, and what your family is suffering from, so they could treat you better.
Yes, and what causes prostate cancer and why am I at risk? Okay, it says that prostate cancer occur most often, like I said, like 65 years and older. Thank God it's not like 25 and 35 and so on, because a lot of people would have been in problem. But the exact cause are not fully known. Certain risk factors can increase the likelihood of an early diagnosis. A father or brother with prostate cancer double the risk. So what we're going to say now is that if your father or you have a brother who died of prostate cancer or who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, they have a double chance, a double risk of having prostate cancer. And one of the things that we advise that is advisable is that if you have your family, you should be going to the doctor quite often every year to have your prostate check and to check your PSA level. And I'm sure your doctor is going to tell you that if they know that your family have risk of that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to say American men are 60% more likely to develop prostate cancer than Caucasian men, or I'm saying white men, okay? Obesity at any age also play a significant role in prostate cancer risk. You know, so if you're black, you know, the chances are higher. You know, there is no single option that's right for every man with prostate cancer. And like I said, what's one maybe good for one person may not good for somebody else. Some tumors grow very slowly and are not, or not at all. So that's why it's individualized. A doctor, you go to the doctor office, he sees somebody having cancer. Two different people, they may use two different strategies to take care of the cancer problem. They do not use, like I like to say, the same yardstick to measure and to treat the same person, the two different persons.
Also, one person might be having diabetes when the other one might not. One person might be having cardiac, related problems, and the other one may not. So you can't treat them the same. It's not the same approach.
And since you're talking about diabetes, I let me add this piece. I like to add it because I don't want to forget things. And if you have diabetes, the healing process takes time, and it will take longer time for you to heal. And if you have, like for example, if you have cardiac problem and you are like, let's say 75, 80 years, they may really consider, do I really do the surgery, or do I, then you die on the operating table, or do I really wait?
Because if you could have a simple cut, and being a diabetic, it's hard to heal. You can develop infection from surgeries. You
can also lose your foot, your toes, whatever with that, that said, so you may never need, some people will never need treatment. You can let, if it's a slow growing prostate cancer, you can let it go on for like 10, 15 years. And I'm going to tell you what they do today with that. As we were talking, the same note, they have what you call a surveillance watch, where you watch this camera and this prostate cancer, watch how fast it's growing and how rapidly it's growing. And if it's not growing at all in 2-3 years, they just leave it there, let it settle, because
they observe it for quite some time.
And you call it surveillance. You don't want to you don't really want to go
just jump on the first thing. Let's do the operation. Let's get it out, or let's take an approach.
And we will talk in about a couple of minutes more about that piece of it. You and your doctor will decide exactly what options you have and what's the best thing options you will take to get rid of this cancer that you have. All right. So we want to do.
Good night to each and every one of you. Let's go with some oldies as you guys are enjoying the topic right here on Island Zone Radio. At the Caribbean Voice love each and every one of you. You guys are looking at some of the videos. We have our distributing team in Guyana ready to distribute all the medical supplies that we have shipped with King Solomon Logistics, and those are medical supplies such as wheelchair, walker, showering beds. So if you know someone in need, do reach out to us for the wheelchair. We have a list of names we will be distributing in Guyana, so send a loved one to pick up a wheelchair for someone in need today.
Yes, and that's some of the pictures you see there is some of the things that we sent to Guyana, which is a good thing. And always, please don't forget to send if you have anything that you want to send for us, let us know, Shanaz or myself or Mr. Anand Budram. And I know Shanaz drive and I drive too.
I got a call today. Someone called me to pick up 2 more wheelchairs, and we just shipped 2 pallets of medical supply to Guyana. We've been doing this. The Caribbean Voice has been doing it low-key for quite some time, but now that we have the media, we're telling you guys that we're sending it, and it's all donated by members like you guys. We have 2 calls today, and I do have to go out over the weekend to pick up those supplies, and then I'll be sending another pallet to Guyana.
That's a good thing, and please don't, I want to also say that, we do appreciate all that you're doing for us, especially our viewers. I always like to bring up that we encourage you to share our videos. Our first video, actually, again, I always like to say it because it's nearly, 16,000 or something like
and
that.
We're still getting calls and feedbacks from our videos, so thank you guys very much. Sharing is caring, as they say, because you never know who will be listening at the end, and it might be helpful for them. It might not be helpful to either one of us watching it right now, but in future, someone might need some help. At least they'll know to reach out to us, the Caribbean Voice, when it comes to support. We're here.
Exactly. So on topics like this, we want you to share these things so that people, who are just diagnosed with this prostate cancer will know what to do and what to expect, and know that if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, that you're not going to die tomorrow, or you're not going to die next week or next year. If all goes well, you have many more years to live on. So we want you to continue to share this, that people can see this video and, be a useful tool for you guys.
Merlin Tulsi, good night to you. Mr. Deodat Benny, good night to you. The beautiful Linda Singh said, your diet may also help to prevent prostate cancer. So what are some of the things we should eat and keep in our diet?
So, as we're talking, we're going off what our audience is saying, and it is good. Exactly. So, like Brazilian nuts is the number 1 thing to eat for prostate cancer. Then you have broccoli. I love broccoli too. You can drink a lot of green tea. You have tomatoes, and like Linda Singh says, you can eat pumpkin seeds. So I came up with those 5 things that you can eat, and that's going to help you. So continue eating a balanced diet and add some of these things inside. You will enjoy a good life.
And you don't believe how important beets. I know a lot of folks don't like beets, but it helps you produce a lot of red blood cells. And I read an article earlier that papaya leaves, if you're making shakes, and it's very good for a lot of preventive care. Also, soursop leaf, you guys have been reading it, and it's saying pharmaceuticals know the help and the healing method behind all these fruits and vegetables that we are so familiar with, but we're not eating them, or we're not drinking the tea as we should.
And you know what I like to do, Shanaz, when I'm home, I like to get like different fruits and I just grind them up and make like a smoothie, or put them in water and drink like 3/4 water, and just add like 3 or 4 different things. I also put some honey rather than I use sugar inside to give it that taste.
Again, our body is prone to a lot of sickness and infection because we're not sleeping enough, we're not eating healthy, so we're opening all these doors for, all major sickness. So if we don't sleep a lot, we get headache.
And going to that, as we're talking about this, and I'm going from what our conversation, into you have prostate cancer, always get your good amount of sleep, at least 7-8 hours sleep. Eat a well-balanced diet. Make sure you exercise, like Anand Budram said. You try mindfulness. All these things really do add up to a healthy living.
Right.
And don't forget, just do it.
Auntie Una might be in Toronto, but she's always locked on, supporting us, the Caribbean Voice. Bibi Ha, good night to you. Linda Singh, thank you very much. And Linda wrote, they said, in general, it's good to have tea 3 times per day. Well, a lot of fluid, a lot of green tea, as you mentioned earlier. And I love tea. I came home and I wanted a cup of tea, so we're having
And guess what? I'm getting some chai tea too. So both of us chai tea.
Green tea. And it's always what you put in is what you get out. Eat healthy, because if you're putting in good things in your body, you're fighting against all the things that we're exposed to.
Yes.
Just being outside, we're exposing our skin to skin cancer. So preventive is the better cure.
Exactly. So let's jump back to the prostate cancer. It can go to different places. The cell can break away from the tumor in the prostate gland. That's when it starts to move to every other places. It can it travel through the lymphatic system and or the bloodstream to the different part of the body. More common places it will go to is like the bones, the lymph nodes, the lungs, the liver, and the brain. And we know that if you get cancer in the liver and places like the lungs, that's not good news at all, because the survival rate is no good, especially with the liver and the lungs. So the brain too is an important organ. So always try to go to your doctor, get your medical, do your annual checkups, which is very important. It is going to help you somehow or the other.
It's all about creating a healthy mindset, eating healthy, sleeping well, works hand in hand.
So now let's talk about, we talk about a lot of things about prostate cancer, and we're going to say that the treatment, here's the treatment choices you have. Your treatment need will depend on these couple things: your age, your health, and your lifestyle, and how serious your prostate cancer is, how large the tumor is, and if it has spread to different parts of the body. And that is what's going to determine your doctor. He's going to determine really what care he's going to give you. So he says, possible side effect. The chances that a treatment will help or cure your cancer. The most common prostate cancer treatment are watchful waiting, and we were talking about surveillance. If you have a small, slow-growing tumor, you and your doctor may decide to wait until you have symptoms to initiate treatment with an active surveillance. You may have regular your PSA check, which is your blood test, your rectal examination, ultrasound. They can also do biopsies, right, where they go through the rectum and they snap a piece of your prostate gland, and they check it to see what's going on. So it starts to grow or spread. You can explore other treatments. You can have surgery where you go, and this is the part that's tricky, where you can go and just cut it out. And it all depends on your age, and I'm gonna go in more to this and say the treatment. Now, one of the problem is that when you go and you cut this prostate cancer out, you can damage your the nerve, and you could become impotent, and most of the time you may not be able, or you may be able to get an erection. You will also get another thing is dripping, which is serious. Excuse me. And the dripping is that you're going to have constant urine is going to drip out of you, and you know what? Sometimes you get well, but you do not sometimes, and then that it goes to the body image there too. And while we are talking about this part here, I want to talk about erectile dysfunction a little bit, Shanaz, because I've talked to a lot of people who have this problem, and they don't want to get help. They don't want to seek out help in this important and vitally strong topic. Is that these guys prefer sometimes to stay just like this. They don't want to go get help. I'm going to tell you this. As a nurse, I remember one time.
Tell us what leads to erectile dysfunction.
Well, if they do the surgery, and I'm saying if they do the surgery, and they cut and they damage your nerve, that's a big problem there you have. So you will have to talk to your doctor, and you will have to decide now if this is what you want to do, or you just want to watch it and wait and see what's going to happen, right? So, the thing is that now you have so much things for erectile dysfunction. You have Viagra, you can go buy it. It's not as expensive. Before time it was $30, then it was $13. Now I think it's about, I know I'm going to let Shanaz smile, and now it's like I hear somebody was saying it's like $4 to one now. So don't be embarrassed to take these things. Especially if you have a nice wife home and she like to have sex, and I'm just being professional. I want to help our Guyanese community, our young guys. Even if you have diabetes and you're having erectile dysfunction, go try these things. You would not lose. Remember, especially if you have a wife that's home and want to enjoy some sex. You know what? And also for the wives, if you know your husband have this problem, you can be proactive to go buy some Viagra.
Because if we're not eating good and we're not sleeping, we're reducing our immune system. We're making it susceptible to all these infections and diseases.
Yes, I want to say that someone wrote this to me today. You can say he's not the same person after he had the surgery. There's no sex life, no hugging, not even I love you or thank me for something that I did. These words would have helped. No communication, two separate people. These people, this person is depressed and thankful for a few friends. And I let me say, it's a sad thing, but you can live life and be nice to each other, Shanaz. When you reach a certain age, you do not really have to have sex all the time, probably once a month or whatever it is. But kissing each other, just tell each other I love you, rubbing each other. There's so much way. Lord, affectionate.
Well, that could lead, and I'm not cutting you off. I had a patient, 50-year-old guy, and that's
young. I'm 54.
Right, 50-year-old guy, because he had diabetes, and he was diagnosed with erectile dysfunction, and his wife didn't feel like she needed to be affectionate to him anymore, because she's worried that it might lead to other things, and then he might get let down. It's like you're keeping his expectation, and then there's nothing else after that. So
well, I want to believe that even as the wife, but this is an older couple. But if you're younger and you're 50 years old, women can also, and this is important and interesting topic now. I know you blush when I talk about these things. I was hoping.
Good night, Auntie Una, Sherry Love. They're all listening, and I have more ladies locked on than guys tonight.
Really
so ladies, listen up.
Yes, see your husband through my eyes. And I'm going to tell you, Shanaz, even as a wife, you can be proactive and do things to help your partner sometimes, especially if you're younger. Give your husband a kickstart, probably a good jump start. You could spice things up and then help him too. Don't leave the burden on him alone to bring things up. You help. You go, you buy your nice flowers, you start things up, and if you know that you have a problem, go get some Viagra and keep it under the pillow. Give it him to drink, but don't come back 10 hours after because this may not work. You know what I'm saying? So always be proactive, and guys, know that women love attention. They need attention and more attention. Also, you must take care of them. You don't want them to go all over the place. So please, take care of your wife or your girlfriend or whoever it is. And don't forget. Also, Shanaz, there's another thing that I saw when I was a young nurse at North General. There was this patient, he coded, and, he's dead now. And we doing CPR on him. And they had to take his pants out and to put in
everything else was dead, but
no, everything else was dead. But then when I look, I see he had an erected penis, and I'm like, I'm saying, oh my God, what is this really going on here now? Here it is, a dead man with an erected penis. Shanaz is cracking up. So I'm like, what is going on here? I have never seen things like this. Jesus, and every time we're touching the man's chest and we're hitting his chest, it's going back and forth like, Shanaz, you too much. So now this is what happened.
Muscles do react.
So what he had now, this guy had a pump, and where you can, Shanaz get red. Can you believe this? So he had this pump in his scrotum that he could pump it up, and it could cause the penis to get erected. But unfortunately, I don't think that he probably lose the pump back. So this is good. You can put a pump in there, pump it up when you need to use it, and deflate it back. So there is so much things that you can really use. Shanaz got me cracking up. So, no, he's not sick. He wants to live life. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that we have to, please don't get me wrong. We all look at things differently in life. I see these young guys sometimes have young wives. These old guys have young wives and all these kind of things. And if they want to satisfy their partners in whatever way, they should be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I not being judgmental about people, because you don't
know what sickness he has,
right?
And yeah,
and then we don't know how long he had this. He probably had it when he was 50 years old, and I'm 54, and I don't think that I'm that old, Shanaz. So, to each his own, and without being judgmental, everybody live their own life to suit themselves. And my thing is that, Shanaz, if people are not bothering me and not troubling my soul, then let them live how they want to live their life.
As long as they're happy at the end of the day.
And at the end of this day, Shanaz, when we all die, whomever you believe in, right? We are answerable to our own soul, right? If you're not killing nobody, you're not abusing nobody, you're not beating nobody, you're not abusing anybody, I don't have a problem with you. Do whatever you want to do. Let's read some comments, see what people are saying.
Well, Auntie Lene wrote, a man, I am single for 15 years, never date or sleep around. Am I dead too? Good night to my brother in Toronto, Mr. Tyron Madramutu. When it comes to chutney wine, he's a guy in Toronto, or hand and legs, we say. Good night, Linda Singh. Line Ashley Shaw, good night to you. Auntie Una says she's locked on. She's very quiet, but quite entertaining at the same time. She's enjoying our conversation. Sherry Love, good night to you. Some people still have their old-fashioned days.
You know, I have to tell you this, Shanaz, and I'm talking this because we do have some time to kill. I have a patient who is about, I think was 73 years old, and she tells me, everybody was cracking up. She said she still have fire in her oven.
Wow.
And she was talking technical talk with me as a nurse, and I have to be professional. So
ladies, you guys might want to know, what is she using to, what's feeding that fire? Is it gas?
Like I tell you guys, I take care.
Said a healthy sex life could also help men in preventative care. If you know you want your husband to stay around and be healthy, help him take care of himself.
And we were talking about surgery, right? It's an option. If you are healthy and your cancer hasn't spread, there are several types. Your doctor may only remove your prostate gland, or he might take it and the tissue around it. All right. The most common side effect from the operation that we were talking about is controlling your urine and trouble getting or keeping an erection. Sometimes they go away on their own after surgery, especially the bladder control. When it says talk to your doctor, your surgeon beforehand, if he or she is able to protect the nerves around your prostate to prevent these side effects. So before your doctor do anything, I'm going to tell you this, before your doctor decide how he wants to do this, I think as the patient you have a right to sit down with your doctor, and if you have your wife and she wants to be proactive with your care, she can come with you to the doctor and you decide what treatment you want, how you want to get rid of this. And what you should allow your doctor to do is to talk about all the treatment options you have and let him help you to come up with the best solution for prostate cancer. Okay?
Right. And if you do have your spouse involved in your care, they will show a little empathy. They'll be a little more supportive because they understand. They're sitting there with your doctors in their meeting. They will understand what you're going through. So you don't have that, you have to explain things, or what if you're telling her the wrong thing, or you're withholding information. She's there, he or she's there, and they're listening, and they'll be a little more proactive when it comes to your care. They'll be a little more understanding.
And also, Shanaz, there is 4 ears is better than 2.
2 ears.
So, and then because the husband might be so stressed out and worried and so on, it's good to have your partner, your wife there, so that they will be able to help you and to ask a doctor question, or you may have forget the question to ask something, and your wife will be able to ask those questions.
Right, because sometimes you might think, the spouse might say, he's not giving me any attention anymore. Maybe he has outside woman,
Yes.
that's not the fact. It's just that he's sick, he's taking care of himself, but he doesn't know how to tell you because he feels less of, to tell you, okay, I have prostate cancer or something else is going on with me. But it's very good to have your spouse or your significant other in the room with your doctor.
And let me add to something, Shanaz, is that it's very hard on your partner when they are having erectile dysfunction. It's not nice. I mean, I'm telling you as a man how I would feel if something like that happened to me. It talks about your image, your body image. How do you feel and how do you look about it? And especially if you have a wife who's telling you, oh, you're no good, you can't satisfy me, you can't do this, you cannot do that.
That is just
so
adding
you are
more
just
flame
a
to
lot
the
of
fire.
stress. That's a lot of stress on a man to carry on. So, like I said, and you know what? Like I said earlier, and I cannot stress it enough, and I really wanted to talk about this part of erectile dysfunction. As a man, you have to be proactive and to see what is needed in the relationship to help you. If you have to go buy that Viagra again, go ahead and buy it. Not that I'm telling you to do these things, but it's help in some way or the other. And I do have a lot of conversation with male patients, and they do talk to me. I also talk to women patients, and this is some of the things that they tell me. You know.
Now, Mr. Annan Mole wrote, stop drinking so much rum. Now, that's a very important question tonight. Does drinking a lot of alcohol has, an effect of...
You know what? Some people, it do affect them. When you're drunk, some people, you can't do anything. I mean, Lord Jesus, you got me. Mr. Annan, you got me talking things I don't want to talk. Yes, that's a good thing. Don't drink too much. You drink too much rum, you may not be able to do anything. When you're drunk, all you want to do is that you want to go to bed and sleep. There's nothing that you can do. And next thing you know is that your wife is talking to somebody else. So try your very best. We are not saying we are not saying not to drink rum.
To drink, but know your limit. Know when you are able to walk, and if you're not able to walk, well, you're not able to do anything else.
And let's talk about alcoholism. And I know for sure that alcoholism is destroying a lot of Guyanese homes, especially in Richmond Hill area. As some of you know that I'm a nurse right here in Richmond Hill. I'm a nurse at a detox center, and I see a lot of Guyanese patients come in, and you ask them what happened. Oh, my wife left me because I'm drinking too much, or I'm doing drugs, and you find a lot of them. And if you live in Richmond Hill area, you will see a lot of Guyanese drinking on Liberty Avenue, drunk, sleeping there, and have nowhere to go. And sometimes they come to our place, to our detox, for a roof to put over their head.
Right. It's a shame because our community, walking around just on Liberty Avenue, they have a bar or 2 bars on every block, and there's always full. So I'm asking myself, where are the wives, where are the brothers or the sisters, But again, some folks are just social. You might be seeing at one place today, but that doesn't mean you're a regular there. You just go out because you're having a social event. You take out your girls or your boys for a drink. And I don't like to be judgmental every time, because sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and be like, okay, I saw Hiram at this bar. It doesn't mean you're there for a drink. Mm-hmm. It could be you're meeting someone, you're picking up someone from there. So, we always have to be non-judgmental. Ken, good night to you. Auntie Lene said good night. She said, please take care of your husband. You love them. Also...
That goes to the man.
That's right. Take care of your lady, your wife.
Thank you for watching out for our man, Miss Lena.
Guys, thank you for giving us all your comments and your feedback. Uncle Suresh Sudgrim is locked on. I would love to have his comments and his input when it comes to tonight's topic, prostate cancer. And we believe you should always have love and support to your spouse.
Exactly so. It goes a far way.
It goes a far way.
And sometimes, Shanaz, from what I hear women talk, is that you don't necessarily have to have sex all the time. You can lay on the bed, chit-chat, a good conversation, caress each other, hug up each other, and it can do wonders. And if you have a good wife, she can understand sometimes of some of the problems that you have. Well, good to see Haroon Abbas, right? He always say nice things, so let's see what he says. Many of the medication like Avodart used for benign enlarged prostate side effect is sexual problem, such as decreased sexual interest ability, decrease in the amount of semen, sperm released during sex. Gentlemen, it's still better to use these drugs. Thank you very much for your comment and for agreeing with me in what I'm saying, Seymour. Like I said, Haroon, it's a good thing. If you have a wife and you want to make sure and to treat her right and to give her a good life, do what's best for both of you. It's not one person.
One person, right? And he said you should switch. What you should do is switch the drugs so you do not develop erectile dysfunction. Also keep having constant, while these meds remain capable of an... Well, yeah, sometimes you might be taking a medication for one thing and it affects the other thing.
Intercourse, while the other meds do, you remain capable of having erection. So I am saying, you guys, go for it. Girls, go for it. If you see your husband is not proactive, you go get it.
That's right. Don't let them feel less than the best. BB Hack, good night to you. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Let's go with an oldie but a goodie. Do enjoy.
लगाए वही बेकरार होता है, दिल वही बेकरार होता है, धड़कनों में जिसकी प्यार होता है। दिन कटता है न कटती है रातें, हर पल किसी का इंतजार होता है।
Prostate cancer. We want to bring this awareness to you guys so you can help your husband, or if the guy's watching and you want to help you. Just watch out for these things. You never know. When anything happens, you always make sure you go to the doctor and check yourself out. I want to say there are two types of radiation. You have the external, where the machine outside your body directs rays at the cancer. And then there's another one, Shanaz, it's internal, where the doctor, through surgery, he places a small radioactive seed into the rear of the cancer. And what that does, it stays there until, and it's probably very dying sometimes, but it stays there, there's no side effect. And I'm hoping that, in fact, I was supposed to have someone who I interviewed who had this done within 20 years now with prostate cancer. And I'm hoping that sometime this week I'll get to interview him and we can come play it sometime down the line so that people can hear his side of this this here. Then you have your hormone therapy, right? The prostate cancer cell needs male sex hormone like testosterone to keep growing. This treatment keeps the cancer cell from getting them. Your doctor might call it androgen deprivation therapy. Some hormones treatment lower the level of testosterone and other male hormones. Other types block the way the hormones work. Then you have another one where they put gases, right, cold gases into the around the prostate, and you have to be like
It's like a freeze-off method.
It is a freeze-off method. You put your patient to sleep, and within a couple hours you get out, and what it does, it kills those things with the gas. So
so there's
those are
other
different techniques and different things coming out. Also, you have you can use chemotherapy for your prostate cancer, and again, your doctor will tell you of all the options you got. Sometimes, if it's spread, your doctor may also want to use two different methods in getting rid of this prostate cancer, which is a good thing. You just want to knock it off and get rid of it, okay?
Uncle Saresa Grimm wrote, "Good night, folks. Health is important. Take your regular checkup with your doctor. The key to healthy living is exercise and eat right." That's right. The cancer is a silent killer, and teeth. Sometimes he teeth our loved ones earlier than we expected.
Yes, and as like we said, early detection. We go to our doctor every year. Every year we do an annual physical.
Get your blood test done. Ask all the questions you may want to ask in future care. And if you see something, don't forget, go get it checked out. Do not wait. All the signs and symptoms sometimes is right in front of us, and we become so, laid back. We didn't take an approach to get it taken care of early.
And men, we don't like to go to the doctor. We wait until the last moment, and I'm sure some of the ladies will tell you in our chat box that yes, it is true that men do not like to go to the doctor. So I would advise our men on viewing us to go and check yourself out. It's important. Living your best with prostate cancer. Life goes on after a prostate cancer diagnosis, and often for a very long time. If your disease is still in the early stages and you have opted not to treat it, it may have little or no effect on you at all. Like we said earlier, if it's not fast growing, you don't have to worry. They're going to watch it and they're going to wait. They're going to check you every 3 to 6 months, every or yearly. But 6 months it's good. So if you see any difference, they're going to check your blood work and so on, okay?
Patricia Rampagras, good night to you. Harun Abbas, good night to you. Good night to each and every one of you locked on to Island Zone Radio every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. The Caribbean Voice presentation of the Mind-Body Connection. Auntie Lene, good night to you. Deepa Dasrat, good night to you. Good night, Donald. And thank you guys in advance for sharing our link. If you share it on your page or share it to a few, and how once a week, 1 hour, we all need girl time, and it's very good to detox with your girlfriend sometimes, because as we say, all you need is an ear. Sometimes you have girl talk and you want to hang out. Guys do the same thing. it's healthy. An hour a week, 1 hour per month, but what you do with your time, make sure it's valuable, make sure you're benefiting something from it.
You know, there will be some adjustment that you will need to make during your life. You know, after treatment, and a big change, like we were talking, changes to your sex life. Sex would be a little different if you have surgery to remove your prostate gland. It means that you would not ejaculate. So if you cut your prostate out, you would not ejaculate. So that's definitely a bad thing for a man. And you know what, Shanaz, it's something to say about our body image. How do we look at ourselves? How do we move on? Because I know, and I can tell you, we think about sex a lot of times, and so this happening to us is like we dead.
Right.
That's how we look at it sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Men especially. Vishan, good night to you. Good night, Linda Singh. Good night, Auntie Line. Ananmol, good night to you. Yes, my motto is your health is your wealth. Take care of yourself so no one else will have to take care of you. Ravi Singh, good night to you. Mr. Joe Thomas, good night to you. Line, how you're doing? Uncle Suresh, good night to you. Thank you guys very much. Remember, hey Ken Ramprasad, good night to you.
Hey, hi Ken, how you doing, Papa?
Junior Ken, I should say.
Yes,
Vishan,
yes.
thank you very much. As we're talking about men's health and prostate cancer, it's important that you support your loved ones. And if you have a male figure in your life, take them, encourage them to go get tested today. A simple PSA level will change a lot of things and will make you have a peace of mind.
Yes, and if your doctor wants to do to check your prostate gland via the rectum, please allow him to do that. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to die.
It's a medical. It's part of your
necessity.
physical.
Yes, you need to get and do it. You know what I'm saying? We want to say, keep in mind, for many men, the problem will go away on its own. You know, you will get better sometime or the other. I hope it doesn't take a long time. Medication, device, penile implant, and couple counseling can also help with your sex life and can make you satisfying or fulfilling again. But most importantly, be patient with yourself and give yourself enough time to heal. Don't rush to do anything. You know what I'm saying? For men who have urine leaking, the problem is that, you know, and you have the urge to go pee a lot of times. Now there is a lot of things that you can use. You get underwear now that you could put on, and there is a patch at the front where you can put a pad inside and you can urine.
It's awesome that all the techniques and the gadgets and everything that we have to support our health today.
And also that if you're going on a long distance trip, you can also they have they have the catheter that you can put on your penis, over your penis with a bag, and it runs out.
The catheter insert, right? And it could be very discreet.
Exactly. So people don't have to know that you have these things. It might be a little unpleasant and uncomfortable, especially if you have your urine there for a long time, or you have on a diaper for a long time. It can be a little unpleasant, but try your best. You know, you can always, if you're going to Canada or wherever it is, you can make frequent stops and change yourself and refresh. You could put some stuff to smell you up nice down there and so on. So just make use of the things that you have, especially if you're in the United States of America.
Right. Auntie Nafiza Noor, good night to you. Good night, Vishal Baran. How you doing? Navin, thank you very much for that cup of tea. Deepa, that's what. Thank you very much. We love you guys. Love is in the air, and love for yourself. You have to love yourself, and then you'll be able to love everyone and accept everyone around you.
Yes. Men can do I have never heard before that men could really do the Kegel exercise.
Wow.
I thought it was only women does Kegel exercise. So if you don't know how to do the Kegel exercise, just Google it and see, how you can go ahead and do that. Like I said before, I didn't know men could do Kegel exercise. And try it. And what that does, it strengthens the pelvic muscle. Oh, you know a thing or two. My partner is getting better here now, so that's a good thing. What happened here? Your doctor may prescribe medication to help you. I said about the pads, surgery. They are different.